She was not born to rule Russia. She was not even Russian. And yet, she would become one of the most powerful rulers in history. Her name? Catherine. She was born in 1729 in a small German principality, Sophie of Anhalt-Zerbst, a minor noble with no claim to an empire. But history had other plans. As a young woman, she was sent to Russia to marry the future emperor, Peter III. To survive, she adapted. She learned the language, adopted the Orthodox faith, and became Catherine. But her marriage was unstable. Peter was immature, unpredictable, and openly admired Russia's enemies, especially Prussia, which made him deeply unpopular with the military and the nobility. Catherine watched, learned, waited. In 1762, Peter became emperor, but his rule began to collapse almost immediately. He alienated the army, undermined alliances, and lost the support of those who mattered most. Catherine knew this was her moment. It began quietly, in secret meetings. Catherine built alliances with the Imperial Guard, with powerful nobles, and with those who had lost faith in Peter. Then, she acted. In July of 1762, she rode to the barracks and stood before the soldiers, not as a wife, but as a ruler. The guards swore loyalty, one by one. The city turned in her favor. Peter was isolated. He was forced to abdicate and taken into custody. Days later, Peter was dead. The official explanation was unclear. A struggle, an accident, but many believed he was killed. Whether by direct order or by those acting in her favor, Catherine never confirmed it. But she never needed to. She declared herself Empress of Russia. She had not inherited power. She had taken it. Her rule would not be peaceful. In 1768, war erupted with the Ottoman Empire, a conflict that would reshape the region. Russian forces advanced across land and across the sea. One of the most decisive moments came at the Battle of Chesma. The Ottoman fleet, anchored and vulnerable, was caught off guard. Russian forces deployed fire ships, setting the fleet ablaze. The harbour became an inferno, and the Ottoman navy was destroyed. This victory gave Russia dominance over the Black Sea. But not all threats came from outside. In 1773, a man named Yemelyan Pugachev, claimed to be Peter III, returned from death. He rallied peasants, Cossacks, and those suffering under the system. The rebellion spread rapidly, threatening the empire. Catherine responded with force. The rebellion was crushed, Pugachev captured and executed. A message that her rule would not be challenged. But power creates enemies, and enemies create stories. Among the many stories told about her, one stands out above all others. A rumor so extreme that it would follow her for centuries. It claimed that Catherine died during an intimate act involving a horse. A story designed to shock, to humiliate, and to reduce one of the most powerful rulers in history to a scandal. But there is no evidence, no credible account, no historical record, only rumour. In reality, Catherine died in 1796 after suffering a stroke, surrounded by attendants, with her death properly documented. So why did the story exist? Because power creates enemies, and powerful women were often attacked not for their actions, but for their character. Catherine ruled an empire. She made enemies across Europe, and rather than challenge her achievements, they chose to attack her reputation. The rumour was not history. It was propaganda, a way to turn strength into scandal. And over time, the story spread until fiction began to replace truth. When she died in 1796, she left behind one of the largest empires in the world, stronger, more powerful, and feared. She had expanded Russia, modernized parts of it, and secured her place in history. She was not born to power. She was not given it. She took it and proved that history is not written by those who wait, but by those who act. Like, share, and subscribe, because some stories should never be forgotten. And if there's a story you want told, leave it in the comments.